Forget the Minotaur and Pandora's box. I've forgotten what I'm going to say already. You're entering the world of mythologies. It's no walk in the park, trust me. Getting it to a point is sort of like sharpening a hollow pencil. You can get so far, but you can't write with it.
Roland Barthes was a French how can I not say it now? Literary. Roland Barthes was a French literary theorist and Marxist, and his book, Mythologies, answers that burning question on everyone's lips. What is myth today? Myth is a type of speech. If you look at it in any other way, it'd be a physical object, a concept, or idea. Unfortunately, you're wrong. It's a representation of the historical and dominant cultural values, usually from the upper class downwards, through objects and icons, but put across in such a way to make it seem completely natural.
Take wine, for example. It's a huge part of French culture, and drinking it is a ritual of social integration. The myth here is the goodness of the wine. If you're hearing about modern myth, you'll be hearing about the second order meaning.
Everything in everyday life becomes a mythologist's domain. Nothing will be spared. Take the classic example of the author and the blue door. This door is blue as it represents loneliness and emotion and so on. Whereas some would say, the door is f***ing blue. As much as the author may have not incorporated this meaning into the blue door, mythology still has the pull over these things, irrelevant of whether it was intended or not.
Back to the wine, the second order meaning of this is the f***ing something. This is not fun. The second order meaning of this is, as much as it's the totem drink of France, and it's glorified in every way, the results of drinking wine are more negative than positive. Drunkenness, lack of health, and when drinking it excessively, liver disease. And all of those things makes the myth the goodness of the wine.
If you know anything of Barthes, you would have heard of the signified and signifier concept. In the nutshell, the signifier is the object and the signified is the meaning. Join the two together and you get a sign. Essentially, the associative total of a concept in an image.
Because of Barthes' Marxist nature and high status, it was thought his mythological take on things was a way for the bourgeoisie views and ideologies to be appreciated by those below, which in this case were the masses or the proletariat. This was in hope that the cultural masses would conform to the Marxist view and maintain social structure.
Take BBC's Radio 4 21st Century Mythology podcasts. If you listen to them, they may come out sounding like they're a parody or sarcastic. And that gives modern mythology a humorous touch, one that you can't seem to take seriously. For example, the story surrounding Nando's restaurants revolves around someone being hanged, and beforehand saying to his persecutor that his food will come alive before his eyes. Lo and behold, it did. After some long news story, we end up with the cheekiest modern restaurant. It seems to come out of completely nowhere, and yet it seems to get away with it.
Let's take a look at something you see every day. This is what happens when you press the on button on a Mac. The screen floods white and you hear a welcoming tone. Think of Let There Be Light. People who use Apple products are known as creators, or hipsters as we're more commonly known. And this bright light is much like the Big Bang, or the creation of the universe from whatever higher power you believe in. It sounds like a tedious link, but again, with the concept of Barthes and his mythologies, it seems completely feasible. This can be applied to all types of everything. Films, television shows, music, books, ketchup bottles, cigarette butts, and your mum.
Mythologies is something that's quite hard to get your head around, and the best way we've found to understand it is by taking in loads of examples. Don't be afraid of overanalyzing something. It's mythology.
Okay.